Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today I'm playing with the new collection from Poole. This is the Feelin Fizzy collection. So it's going to have the Feelin Fizzy and new grays. She's got some brand new inks that are going to be so fun to play with. Let me go ahead and go through what she sent to me. So I'm going to actually look and make sure I get all the names right. And there will be links to everything down in the description below. So we've got the... Start off with the inks. We've got this real light gray that is called Pebble. Then we've got a medium gray, which is Hoodie. And then we have a darker gray that is Slate. So those are the three new colors, and I think those are going to be great for adding a little bit of dimension to basically any and all of your stamping. So that's going to be fun. Then we've got the Feelin Fizzy dies and stamp pads. So these match up perfectly with all of these guys. And then we also have the the Retro Love dies. I haven't broken these apart, but it is the word love all combined. And then you've also got the shadow layer. So that is going to be cool too. So what I've done so far, and this is where I couldn't resist a couple of days ago, I went ahead and stamped out a bunch of these guys in different colors. I used the slate for the outline of all of my little bottles. So I've got a bunch of these little soda bottles done. Now this one, I didn't have it in any ink. It's basically where I did some cleanup of some alcohol marker on a piece of cardstock and decided to use that for some of my bottles too. But yeah, I've got a bunch of them. So I've got more than enough to do a couple of cards. So that's what we're going to do today. So before I start putting everything together and trying to do assembly on a couple of cards, I figure I'll go ahead and get some of my sentiments done. So I've got these larger sentiments out of the stamp set. So we've got these larger ones. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp those down in one of the new inks. Now, like I said, we've got new gray inks. So they're not going to be bold black. That's one thing, but they're not supposed to be. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the slate. This is the darker one, and it is the one that I did all of the stamping of my bottles in. And I'll go ahead and stamp each of my sentiments down on that. And you could, of course, do different colors and stuff, but I'm kind of wanting to go with the grays today because I want to see more about how they work and how to use them really efficiently and such. So I think that these are going to work out really nicely. And so far, the only thing that I've used them on has been on my bottles. Now, I did do, like I did on this one, it's got all three colors. It's got the slate on the outside, and then it's got the Hoodie is this darker one, and then it's got Pebble, which is the lighter one. So it's got all of those, but it kind of looks like you've got a shadow on one side. And I think that is kind of cool. And I did the same thing on some of my other ones. I think on this one I did use some of the grays to make that little bit of a darker side on it. Or I may have just used additional of the regular ink. I don't remember because it's been 2 days. I do know on my grays I did do that kind of a shadow effect because I thought that would look kind of cool. So those look kind of cool, and they are a little bit distressed. These are brand new stamps, so you have not been used before. So they do have that little bit of, I guess, not as good of as clear of coverage. And I think that's going to look perfect. And when I say that they're a little bit warped, actually, that one did shift just a touch. Why did it shift? No, it didn't. It looked to me like it shifted. I'm going to go the other way. That way I can make sure that this end does not shift. Okay, there we go. So when I say that they are a little bit warped, you are going to still get some warping when you're using a magic mat. I love my magic mat, and it has basically, I haven't needed to replace any of my plates yet. But that's after me using them for, gosh, I think it's been over 2 years since the magic mat came out. Okay, so we've got Happy Birthday Old Timer, and then we've got You're a Classic, and then the other two sentiments I have on here, I'm going to just freehand cut those out. Okay, now we've got that one all cut out, kind of a bubble cut all the way around it. The other ones we've got basically straight lines. But now I can decide how do I want to use it. So I picked out a couple of pattern papers that I've had in my stash for a while. And I basically took a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper. So this is from a scrapbook paper pad, and trimmed it down so I wouldn't waste any of it to 4 by 6. So now I'm going to trim that down a little bit more once I decide how I want it to go. Now it fits really nicely on the front of an A2 size card. So you've got that little bit of white space around on the sides because I sized it right. So this is 4 inches. My card panel is going to be 4 1/4. So that's going to work. And now I'm trying to decide, do I want to stay with it straight? Do I want to go at an angle? Do I want to do some other thing with it? So I'm going to kind of just lay things out to kind of get an idea. I want to use 3 different colors of a soda pop. And I think I want to do all 3 different bottles because there are 3 different bottles in the set. I'm not sure that I want to use the gray. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. So if I do, I think I'm going to use it in the middle and have these guys kind of over the top. And then if I do that, I'm going to need to add some color to the edges if I use the full panel there. But if I decide to use like half a panel and have them popped up, I'm kind of wanting one to be like in the middle. It still needs color around the outside. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start off with, I think, for my first card, I'm going to trim this one down to, I think, a couple of inches. So we've got a 4 1/4 inch panel. We've got 4 inches. I'm sorry, 5 1/2 inch. Duh. So how much do I want to show? I think I'm going to cut it down to 3. That also means I could do the exact same thing on 2 cards if I want. And instead of this, let me grab a card base. And if I go with green for my card base, then using one of the green bottles would kind of come in play there pretty well. So we've got a green, a purple, and either a pink or an orange. Let me just look at that. And then we could do... That would look kind of cool. Let's go ahead and put this up at the top, and I want to try to line up the edge here straight on the side. So first I'm going to put my purple one in the back, and I am going to put some foam tape behind it too. And cutting the foam tape right down the center so I have a piece to go behind the neck. Okay, so we go here and here. And the reason I'm starting with this one is because it's going to be the one in the center of the back, and I want to make sure that the others lay over the top well. There we go. Now I can put some on my green one. Okay, so we're going to go right about here, and I think that's going to work out pretty good. And by the way, this is one reason why I did not... I didn't put foam on the back of everything ahead of time because I didn't know where I wanted to place them yet. Okay, so this one's just going to be laying a little bit over the top of that one. There we go. And that card is done. All that I need to do is add a piece of white cardstock on the inside. I'll go ahead and do that so I don't forget. And just go ahead and put this down with, again, some more of my dot liner adhesive. And to get it straight on the inside, I'm going to place it with the non-sticky side on the front of the card, or rather on the back of the front of the card, and then just close the card down, and that way the adhesive will stick where I want it. There we go. And since I have so many of the bottles, I think I'm going to put another one on the inside. Let's go with, oh, I forgot about the bubbles. We have bubbles. So I'm going to use some of the bubbles on the inside and on the outside. And then I think I'm going to actually use one of these little stars too. So this is really cool. You can add these little bits on there instead of adding sequins or anything. So this could stay a mostly masculine or feminine, masculine card without all of the little extras that you would normally do. So I could go, do I want to do that? I think I want that one right there. And I'm gonna, because I'm going on the dark, I am gonna go with the darkest of the grays. I'm just gonna add those little bubbles. Oh, that looks perfect. I think I do need some of the other bubbles though. And these are gonna go over here. And I am using liquid glue on the inside for this, and part of that is I want to make sure it sticks well. My dot liner is great, I love it, but over time it can start to come loose a little bit, especially in the humidity of Florida. And replacing the panel is one thing, replacing all the little bits is something else. I don't really want to take a chance of having that one mess up. But let's go ahead and add a few little bubbles. I think that's perfect. That looks so cute. For my second card, I'm going to be using this piece of striped pattern paper, again from that same paper pack. Don't ask me which one it was because I don't remember, but I'm trimming that one down. First off, I'm wanting to go vertically on my card, so I'm going to trim it down to 5 1/4 so I can have that little 1/8 of an inch across the top and bottom, and then I'm going to trim it sideways as well. So this one is right now at 4 inches, and I think I want to use about 2.5. So this is how much of the card I'm going to be using, okay? And this time around, I think I'm going to do everything on white, and then I can decide, do I want to put it onto a colored card base, assuming I've got a color that matches. So let me go ahead and adhere that one down. This is going to be too cute. Okay, starting off with this one at the top, this green one that I've got. And then we're going to add some of those little bubbles again. I think this is too cute. I do like this one that's kind of, I don't know, this one's almost like a little circle of them. And so I'm going to do this one and kind of have the bubbles kind of floating up to the top. So let me just line that up right with that folded edge, and then I can press everything down. Okay, so for this last card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something I haven't done in a bit, and I'm going to make an easel card. So I'm taking a regular A2 top folding card base and my scoreboard. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to score one of those sides about halfway. It's entirely up to you how much you want to go, but I'm going to go at about, I'm going to go exactly halfway because that's what I said. So it's going to be 2 3/4. Okay. And then we're going to fold that. I probably should have done it the opposite side, but that's okay. Still not cracking, which is good. So this is kind of the way that the card is going to be able to sit up, okay? And I'm going to use this guy as my stopper. But first I need to decorate the rest of this. And to do that, I think I'm going to start off with this same piece of pattern paper. Do need to trim it down just a touch though, because now it is a little bit longer than what I need. So instead I'll just use my liquid glue. Go ahead and adhere that down, giving a little bit of an edge around all the way around. Then we're going to put some of our bottles on here. Oh, this is going to be cute. I'm probably going to be putting more bottles on there than I actually need to. And I only want to adhere it below this line here. If you adhere it to the top, it's not going to work correctly. So make sure that all of your adhesive is on the lower section. That is a little soda pop party. And then I can decide where I want my birthday sentiment to go. And before I do that, I am going to glue it down. Let's do this. I want to use some more of that purple. And the purple I was using is pixie dust. So I'm going to basically make myself some purple cardstock. Actually, it's got some pink on there too because of the blending that I was doing on another project, but that's okay. This is going to still look cool. Okay, so we've got some color down, and then I'm going to glue this guy on the top, and then I'm going to do kind of a little shadow cut around it. And then I'm going to put some foam on the back of that. We go ahead and add this little strip down there first. And this still leaves plenty of room on the inside to be able to add your personal message. And because I know me, I am putting a little bit of liquid glue on the back of my foam so I can make sure I get it positioned right where I want it. And I kind of want to line it up straight. Yeah, it looks like that's about right. So when it's popped up, it's going to look like that. Before we do anything further, let's add some more of those fun little bubbles. Yes. And that helps to fill some of that white space that was up at the top so that when it's closed, it looks right. So when it's in the envelope and comes right out, like it does that, and then it can pop up and you've got your little soda party going on right there. I think that one turned out super cute. So that's going to finish up this card video featuring the new Catherine Poole collection, Feelin Fizzy, and her new wonderful gray inks. So I think these all turned out super, super cute, and I've been wanting to do an easel card for a while. This is a perfect excuse. I think I was inspired by the shape of that sentiment. So anyway, thank you so much for dropping in, and have a wonderful day. If you'd like to see some more videos where I'm using Catherine Poole products, be sure to check out that video. You have a wonderful, be sure to check out the playlist. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.